Keyblades, Heartless, and Nobodies. Oh my! With the first game being released on the PlayStation 2 in March 2002, Kingdom Hearts has become a widely acclaimed RPG for both gamers and critics alike. With the hodgepodge of original Disney and Square Enix characters, the games have created a deep and diverse universe. From fighting different forms of Heartless and Nobodies to actually helping them, Sora and friends have had loads of adventures. That being said, here we're going to focus mainly on the mainstream games, so we'll only be taking the events of the side games such as Chain of Memories into account for only a couple of characters. Also, we're going to be keeping minor characters to a minimum, otherwise this video would be crazy long. So no summonables or Disney characters who are only encountered within their own worlds as well. Same goes with characters such as Cloud and Yuffie from Final Fantasy. However, we are going to be doing an in-depth look at Sora and his friends as well as his enemies, so grab your Keyblade of choice and join us. I'm Kifinosi with One Up Binge, and this is Kingdom Hearts: Good to Evil. As usual, we'll be starting with the most heroic characters and working our way down. These characters are not only worthy of wielding Keyblades, but are looking to save the world. These characters are the good. Kicking off this category, the Gold Medal of Good is going to none other than the captain of the Royal Knights, Goofy. Even though he does not use a Keyblade himself, Goofy still proves himself to be one of the bravest and strongest fighters in the series, and while Goofy does show the characteristics of his own name from time to time, Goofy is actually a pretty perceptive guy. Regardless of who he encounters, Goofy's willing to help anyone that asks for it, and while he briefly does leave Sora's side in the first game due to his instructions, Goofy's the first one to step in and make the save when Sora is being attacked. And this isn't the only time he willingly puts himself in danger in order to protect others. During the battle of the 10,000 Heartless in Kingdom Hearts 2, Goofy gets Sora and the others out of the way of the massive boulder that was going to hit them. Unfortunately, this does result in Goofy getting smacked by the rock instead and is knocked out cold. Thankfully, though, Goofy walks away from the incident with no major damage, and he reminds Mickey he gets hit on the head all the time. And when it comes to actually fighting, Goofy has absolutely zero fear of battling against serious enemies, such as members of Organization 13 or Xehanort and his different forms. Outside helping others or fighting to protect the world, Goofy's proven himself to be an invaluable ally and friend, having a very deep bond with Sora, Donald, and the others. A brave warrior with a kind heart and always doing the right thing, even if it puts himself in danger? Yeah, Goofy's obviously the winner for our gold medal. For our silver medal of good, we're awarding it to Kairi. As she is the childhood friend of Sora and Riku, to say that Kairi has been through some intense experiences would be a major understatement. Being a princess of heart, Kairi is a target of the Council of Disney Villains to unlock the Kingdom Hearts in the first game, and is subsequently kidnapped. And while she takes the damsel in distress role for a majority of the game, Kairi is able to save Sora after he sacrifices himself in order to restore Kairi's heart in Hollow Bastion. Even though Kairi is convinced to stay behind during the fight against Xehanort's heartless form, Ansem, she does give Sora one of the most powerful Keyblades in the game. Unfortunately, Kairi kind of returns to the damsel in distress role a bit in the second game as well, after she's kidnapped once again by Axel. Once she is freed by her nobody, Namine, Kairi's able to recognize Riku and fights alongside him with her own Keyblade after they're attacked by an army of Heartless. Wishing to become a stronger fighter, Kairi decides to continue her training with Leia in preparation for the upcoming war in Kingdom Hearts 3. And while she is not the most experienced fighter, when the final battle is imminent, Kairi readily agrees to join the others on the battlefield. However, she is kidnapped once again by Xemnas after he discovers that he's outmatched by Sora and the other fighters. As a way to stop Sora and the others from fighting against him, Xehanort uses his Keyblade to shatter Kairi's heart. Thankfully, Sora is able to restore Kairi's heart before it's too late. After the final battle is over and Xehanort is defeated, Kairi returns to Destiny Island, determined to find Sora after he vanishes. We have our fingers crossed for Kairi, and with all that she has going for her, Kairi more than deserves her silver medal of good. Now we finally have the main protagonist and winner of our bronze medal of good. Up next, Sora. Pretty much from the word go in the first Kingdom Hearts game, Sora is thrown into an environment that he has very little knowledge of. However, Sora does not let that be a drawback whatsoever. Sora willingly accompanies Donald and Goofy to various worlds, helping whomever he comes across, all the while not backing down from opponents much stronger than himself. After finding Kairi in Hollow Bastion, Sora willingly turns himself into a Heartless in order to release Kairi's heart that's inside Sora's body. When it comes to dealing with Organization 13 in Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora is driven by the desire to learn their goals, as well as wishing to know why he's being called Roxas by some of them. After meeting and realizing that Roxas is his nobody as a result of his sacrifice in the previous game, Sora is very accepting of him, even if the two do fight beforehand. And Roxas isn't even the only person who shows hostility towards Sora that he comes to accept accept and forgive later. When Sora eventually reunites with Riku, he's very forgiving towards his friend for his past actions, acknowledging Riku's regret and empathizing with the decisions that he'd made. And while he's not always as forgiving towards some of his enemies, such as Xehanort in his various forms, Sora does do his best to attempt to give them chances to reform and understand where they're coming from. And while the events of Kingdom Hearts 3 seem to overwhelm Sora from time to time, such as him becoming depressed at the loss of his strength during the start of the game, Sora never truly gives up. When Kairi is in danger once again, Sora does not hesitate at all on using the power of waking to save her, even though he's warned that he could disappear from the world as a result. And while that does happen after Sora and his friends are finally able to defeat Xehanort, Sora seems to have no regrets about it. What brings Sora down just a bit are the facts that he can be somewhat childish from time to time, as well as butt heads with his friends on occasion. But as Sora is actually a teen, and let's be honest here, who hasn't had disagreements with those close to them from time to time, these are very minor issues, especially when compared to the strong character Sora has, in addition to his countless heroic actions. We're gonna say it again, here's hoping that Kairi and the others can find Sora once again. Our favorite hot-headed royal magician, Donald, is up next. Much like Goofy, Donald is an extremely loyal friend, as well as proving himself an extremely capable fighter on the battlefield. However, Donald is the most reckless fighter in the group, sometimes heedlessly rushing into battle without much thought. Donald really isn't doing this simply because he enjoys a good fight, though. Donald does this more often than not to protect those he cares about. Even though Goofy is the one to protect Sora from Riku's attack in the first game, Donald is not far behind in attempting to save Sora. And this is far from the last time Donald rushes in to protect his friends, even at the cost of great danger. During the battle at the Keyblade Graveyard in Kingdom Hearts 3, Donald uses the incredibly powerful spell Zeta Flare to attack Terra Xehanort despite being warned not to. And while this does defeat Terra Xehanort, the amount of energy that Donald uses to cast the spell in order to save his friends causes him to fall unconscious briefly. So why are we not awarding Donald a Medal of Good, unlike his two traveling companions and best friends? Well, in the first game, Donald does have a slight manipulative side when it comes to convincing Sora to join him and Goofy. Donald tells Sora that he's positive they'll be able to find Riku and Kairi in addition to Mickey, before admitting to Goofy that he has no idea. And sure, that is a little white lie, but that coupled with his temper and occasional recklessness are the reasons Donald is placed slightly below our previous entries. Time for the King of Disney Castle and a Keyblade Master to boot, Mickey. Despite being smaller than most of the main characters, Mickey's also one of the, if not the strongest member of Sora's allies. Having trained under Master Yen Sid for years, Mickey's skills have been called exceptional compared to others such as Riku or Sora. Mickey's been seen to be able to take down incredibly tough opponents and enemies, such as the Demon Tower in Kingdom Hearts 3 after Riku's overwhelmed. Even though the use of darkness is more often than not utilized by the main villains of the series, Mickey has also been shown not only to use it, but has also become extremely proficient at using it, in addition to using light and his Keyblade. During his travels, due to the amount of light within his heart, Mickey's able to travel into areas such as the Corridor of Darkness safely, and even has a Keyblade of Darkness, and is unaffected by it. Mickey can be kinda secretive at times, and while he does have understandable reasons for doing so, such as not disclosing the entire truth when it comes to Sora asking about Riku in Kingdom Hearts 2, it does leave Sora and the others in the dark at times. But these are very minor issues where Mickey is concerned, and his actions more than make up for them. Our first nobody, Namine, takes this spot, as nobodies are created after a heart leaves someone's body, even temporarily. Namine's creation is pretty unusual, even where nobodies are concerned. As Sora sacrifices himself in Kingdom Hearts in order to free Kairi's heart within himself, Namine, as well as Roxas, are born from this action. During the events of Chain of Memories, Namine is used by Organization 13 to implant false memories into Sora's mind in order to manipulate him into becoming a puppet for the organization. Later in the game, however, Namine does admit her actions to Sora and promises to restore his old memories. After she and Sora, along with Donald and Goofy, make their way to the chamber with the sleep pods, Namine is able to keep her promise, but this does erase Sora's memories of Castle Oblivion. During the events of Kingdom Hearts 2, Namine attempts to help restore Sora's missing memories, while also helping Roxas out with his journey in finding out who he truly is. After Kairi is captured by Organization 13, Namine is able to set her free from her prison. After the battle with Xemnas is finally over, Namine, along with Roxas, are absorbed back into Kairi's and Sora's bodies respectively. After the wave of Heartless attacks the group at the Keyblade Graveyard in Kingdom Hearts 3, Namine shows up again due to being released by Kairi's heart, reassuring Sora that Kairi could be saved. In the closing moments of the game, Namine reappears in the research study before finally getting placed in a vessel of her own, no longer bound directly to Kairi. Namine has had her fair share of rough times, but seeing her finally getting to live her own life is one of the best feel-good moments in the series. From one nobody to another, we have Roxas up next. even though he's brought into Organization 13. Roxas shares so many qualities with Sora, which, to be fair, makes sense seeing as to how Roxas is Sora's nobody. And even though he ends up recruited into Organization 13, Roxas spends a majority of the time during the game 358 Days Over 2 to find out who he truly is, in addition to looking into the organization's plans. When Axel denies Roxas information on who he is, Roxas defects from the organization, instead opting to discover the truth for himself. During his search, Roxas finds Xion and discovers that while she is not a nobody like himself, she is an imperfect duplicate of Sora that the organization wants to use for their goals. Realizing that he's also connected to Sora, Roxas attempts to confront Xemnas. However, he is overwhelmed by the amount of Heartless that attack him at the Memory Skyscraper. And while he is able to get away, Roxas is knocked out and placed in the digital Twilight Town by Diz in order to protect him from being found by Organization 13, as well as the majority of his memories being erased. Even though Roxas is still in the dark at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, his personality is very much the same, and much like Namine having some contact with Kairi, Roxas is able to make contact with Sora during the game as well. Though, since he does not truly understand what he and Sora mean to each other, they end up fighting before accepting each other later on. As with Namine finding her way into Kairi's heart, Roxas does the same with Sora. And as Roxas is still residing within Sora's heart throughout the series until Kingdom Hearts 3, it is a goal of Sora's to restore Roxas back to a body of his own. During the final battle against Xemnas, Roxas is able to reach out to Sora and is able to be released from his heart when Xemnas makes the attempt to kill Leia and Xion, stopping him and saving his friends. Roxas, like Namine, is a tragic character, no doubt, but seeing how he grows into his own person and does anything possible to protect those he cares about definitely gives Roxas major points. Sora's rival, as well as his and Kairi's childhood friend, Riku, takes this spot. Let's get this out of the way right now. Yes, Riku does take a villainous role during a majority of the first game. But really? Riku takes this path due to being lied to by Maleficent telling him that he could save Kairi by becoming her ally to defeat Sora. Thankfully, Riku is able to get his head back on straight again, and while he and Sora are competitive against each other, they're able to repair their friendship. During Kingdom Hearts 2, Riku makes appearances throughout the game to both offer assistance to Sora, Goofy, and Donald, as well as actually lend a hand during some of the more difficult fights, such as against Xemnas. And while he does have more of a behind-the-scenes role where helping Sora out is concerned, Riku's doing whatever he can to help his friends. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Riku's the one who helps recruit Aqua to help out with the upcoming war before joining the others. When the war does eventually start, Riku's able to almost hold his own against three incredibly tough opponents in Xigbar, Riku's own dark form, and Ansem. And while Sora does step in to help out, Riku does not back down in the slightest from further battles. During the final showdown against Xehanort, Riku is the one that comes up with the plan that helps Sora defeat Xehanort once and for all, even though Riku is pretty easily manipulated in the first game. Seeing how he makes up for his mistakes and his further actions make it clear that Riku is a great guy at heart. Finally, rounding out this category, we have fan favorite, Axel. Sure, if we looked at a majority of Axel's actions during the events of Kingdom Hearts 2, you might expect us to place him in the gray area in our ranking. But really, even though Axel does cause trouble for Sora and the others, Axel isn't really that bad of a guy. Even though Axel really doesn't know what to make of Roxas initially joining Organization 13 in 358 Days Over 2, Axel soon creates a strong friendship with his fellow nobody. After Roxas finds himself in Twilight Town in Kingdom Hearts 2, Axel is the one who makes the most attempts in helping his friend to regain his memories. And, like we've said, Axel does cause headaches due to his actions, such as kidnapping Kairi and fighting Sora on more than one occasion, but still, Axel is helpful at times and shows remorse for his more regrettable actions. And while he does fade away in Kingdom Hearts 2, Axel's original form, Leia, becomes a Keyblade wielder in Kingdom Hearts 3, training with Kairi. In addition to that, he actively takes part in helping Sora as well as the others in their fight against Xehanort, while Axel does do some questionable things. Seeing who he really is at heart keeps him out of the gray area. Speaking of which, that's the last of the morally good Kingdom Hearts characters, so now it's time to descend into neutral territory. This is the gray area. Starting off this category, we have the former king of Radiant Gardens, Diz, aka Ansem the Wise. Initially, Diz is a benevolent scholar of Radiant Gardens, meeting Mickey and forming a pretty good bond with his fellow king. However, after experimenting with the darkness within one's heart along with his apprentices, Diz becomes unnerved by the turn their experiments start to take, calling their work inhumane. Unfortunately for Diz, he's betrayed by his apprentices, who are able to banish Diz into the realm of darkness. And as most of his apprentices are nobodies, Diz in turn develops a strong prejudice against them. Thankfully, Diz does not let this prevent him from helping nobodies such as Namine by assisting her in restoring memories of others, and his help doesn't necessarily end there. While not directly assisting Sora and the others in Kingdom Hearts 2, they are able to locate several of Diz's reports throughout the game, which helps them get a better understanding of one's heart. At the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, Diz is able to help Naminé and Roxas with finally getting bodies of their own. While Diz has done great things, we are still bringing him down this far in our list due to his prejudices against nobodies, as well as his part in the somewhat unethical experimentation on one's heart. And to finish up the gray area, we have another member of Organization 13, Sykes. Next to Xemnas, it would be safe to say that Sykes is the most nobody-like member of Organization 13. For the most part, Sykes shows a lot of the qualities that most characters within Kingdom Hearts associate with nobodies. Cold, methodical, nearly devoid of any emotion, Sykes is one of the higher-ranked members within the organization, as well as one of the better fighters. During Kingdom Hearts 2, Sykes toys with Sora's emotions at certain stages of the game, such as seemingly allow him to see Kairi after her capture, only to reveal it was a ploy. But that's not to say that he's all bad. In the events of 358 Days Over 2, Sykes has a pretty deep friendship with Axel and is willing to entrust him with the plans of the rebellion within the organization. And while Sykes does betray those who he views as obstacles, he does seem to regret doing this, at least to those close to him, such as Axel. However, after Sykes is defeated for the final time in Kingdom Hearts 3, he does express his regret in not only getting a heart, but for causing trouble towards Axel and the others. Sykes, like most of the other organization members, has done some pretty awful things. And while saying sorry does not always make up for past actions, seeing how Sykes' original body, Isa, joins Leia and the others at the close of Kingdom Hearts 3, we can't help but be optimistic that he'll continue to improve for the better. Now, we are finally arriving at the characters who are looking to not only unlock Kingdom Hearts, but also use them in their own goals. These characters are the bad to evil. He might just be a pawn, more or less, but we're giving Pete the first spot in this tier. While Pete is just the muscle that Maleficent uses for her plans, we have to admit he does his job fairly well. In Kingdom Hearts 2, Pete makes regular appearances in the worlds Sora, Goofy, and Donald visit, at times laying out traps for them, such as getting them to the underworld in Olympus, or just fighting them outright. In addition to confronting Sora and the others, Pete also takes on multiple tasks for Maleficent, such as informing her of Organization 13 and their goals. Unlike some of the other Disney villains that are encountered in the series who command one powerful Heartless, if any, Pete seems to have a deep connection with a wide range of Heartless, even giving some to other villains. And while Pete's role really does not progress much in Kingdom Hearts 3, he's still helping Maleficent in gaining control of Kingdom Hearts, as well as still standing in the way of Sora and his friends. Pete is a bully, a capable fighter, and while he might not always give things the most thought, he is a definite threat, and one of the more resilient enemies that Sora has to deal with in the series. Right below Pete, we have the one he answers to the most, as well as the mistress of all evil, Maleficent. Scheming, manipulative, and cold, Maleficent is one of the most powerful villains in the series, and with a title like Mistress of All Evil, she's got a lot going for her. As Maleficent is the one to manipulate Riku in working with her in the first Kingdom Hearts, she has a knowledge of the nature of one's heart and is able to use it to her cause. In addition to working with the other Disney villains, including Pete, Maleficent has pretty easy access to countless Heartless, which she uses to hinder Sora and his allies. Despite Sora killing her in the first Kingdom Hearts, Maleficent is able to be revived thanks to her Raven Diablo in Kingdom Hearts 2. Maleficent, by herself, is a significant threat, but Maleficent with a vendetta against Sora is something to truly be worried about. However, even though Maleficent does want to destroy Sora and the others, they're not the only ones Maleficent fights with. More specifically, there's Organization 13. Near the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, Maleficent does become an unwilling ally of Sora's against the organization. This is not done to help him out though, but only because Maleficent wants to be the only one to control Kingdom Hearts. And while she and Pete do not appear as much in Kingdom Hearts 3 compared to the other games, her influence is still felt at various points. They do not directly participate in the Keyblade War. However, Maleficent and Pete do observe parts of it before leaving in their search of the black box, which they've been looking for the entire game. Maleficent always seems to have a plan, as well as several contingencies in place, no matter what the situation is, though we are thankful that each one of them has failed. So far, we're finally arriving at the big bads of the series, with us giving the Bronze Medal of Evil to Ansem. In spite of being a Heartless, Ansem is the only one of two Heartless that have human intelligence, the other being Sora after his sacrifice in the first game. And since Ansem is the guy, along with Maleficent, who helps kickstart the events in the entire series, he has a lot to answer for. During the events of the first game, Ansem is the one who's able to possess Riku's body after he gives into the darkness and uses him to help create a Keyblade of his own. In addition to gaining new power, Ansem is able to nearly destroy all the worlds in Kingdom Hearts with darkness with the sheer amount of Heartless he controls. And while Ansem does not make a direct appearance in Kingdom Hearts 2, various reports about him can be found by Sora and the others. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Ansem makes a reappearance along with the other organization members. One of the main goals that Ansem has in this game is attempting to force Diz after kidnapping him to help him locate the mysterious test subject of the organization, known as Subject X. Thankfully, Diz is able to escape and Ansem later joins the others others at the Keyblade Graveyard for the war. After fighting against Mickey, Riku, and Sora, Ansem is finally defeated once and for all. And while he does express regret for his actions and reminds Riku of the seemingly fond times they had together, this by no means excuses Ansem for all he's done. From Xehanort's Heartless to his nobody, the Silver Medal of Evil goes to Xemnas. First introducing Kingdom Hearts 2, Xemnas seems to be in charge of Organization 13 during a majority of the game, and while Xehanort is eventually revealed to be the one behind everything, Xemnas still proves himself to be a very serious threat, not only to Sora and the others, but to the entire Kingdom Hearts universe. While Xemnas does bring Roxas as well as others into the organization in 358 Days Over 2, it's clear that he views them as nothing more than pawns in his goals. Unlike other members within the organization, Xemnas is not looking to regain a heart of his own, but to use Kingdom Hearts in order to become a god. And during the events of Kingdom Hearts 2, Xemnas' plans really don't change. In addition to attempting to gain power, Xemnas sadistically torments Sora and the others, such as by taunting him about Riku and his current state. While Xemnas does seem to have a better understanding on the nature of one's heart after the battle against Riku and Sora at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, he really does not use this knowledge to reform. Quite the opposite, actually. Like Ansem, Xemnas returns in Kingdom Hearts 3, ordering a wave of nobodies and Heartless to attack Sora and his friends at the old mansion in Twilight Town before departing to plan with the others for the upcoming final battle. When the final battle does take place with Xemnas, it proves to be one of the toughest fights in the entire series. And while he does not redeem himself, upon his death, Xemnas does acknowledge how having a heart takes incredible strength and character before fading away. With both his Heartless and Nobody already ranked, it should come as no surprise that Master Xehanort is taking home the Gold Medal of Evil. Even though Ansem is the one who kickstarts the events of the entire series, Xehanort is the true mastermind behind everything. Cold, callous, and pragmatic, Xehanort is constantly planning and scheming in order to gain control of Kingdom Hearts. When it comes to the lives that Xehanort has ruined, such as Aqua's in Birth by Sleep, he coldly responds that it is their destiny to fall. When Aqua's about to finish Xehanort in Birth by Sleep, Xehanort's able to unlock his own heart after using his Keyblade, further extending his life before fading away. After he's brought back in Dream Drop Distance, Xehanort picks up pretty much right where he left off in his pursuit of Kingdom Hearts. When Mickey and Riku confront him, Xehanort freely admits that everything that had happened throughout the course of the previous games were part of his plans in forming the ultimate Keyblade, the X-Blade, in order to unlock Kingdom Hearts. Near the end of Dream Drop Distance, Xehanort attempts to transform Sora's body into a vessel for himself, only to be held back by Donald and Goofy. During Kingdom Hearts 3, Xehanort works behind the scenes until Sora and the others arrive at the Keyblade Graveyard. After Ansem and Xemnas are defeated, Xehanort shatters Kairi's heart as a way to ensure the battle against Sora. And while Xehanort is able to create the X-Blade multiple times, Sora is finally able to bring his plans to an end after a long and difficult battle, with Xehanort fading away from existence for the last time. And that's it for the morality spectrum, but before we end this video, we have some Sinner awards to hand out. The Darwin Medal is going to Pete. He might be Maleficent's right-hand man and a pretty good fighter, but when it comes to thinking for himself, Pete really doesn't have any moments to speak of. Our Envy Medal goes to Riku. While he might have overcome it, Riku's jealousy of Sora is a factor that helps open his heart to darkness in the first game. The winner of the Wrath Medal is none other than Maleficent. With her specifically strong desire to destroy Sora and his allies, she's a pretty good contender for this award. For the Greed Medal, we're giving it to Xehanort. While almost all the villains in the series wish to control Kingdom Hearts, Xehanort's the guy who goes through the most effort to gain its power. And finally, the Pride Medal is going to Sora. While not really arrogant at all, Sora has been a little boastful on certain occasions. But let us know in the comments section if you agree with our rankings, and tell us what we should cover next. If you need a one-up, make sure to hit that notification bell and binge our Good to Evil playlist, where we break down the moralities of the characters in your favorite games. Thanks for watching!